Welcome back to The Virgil tonight, our backdrop for the show. If you're just tuning in, you've made it just in time for the Last Call Spotlight. Tonight we're going to shine our light on an independent spirit, an Emmy Award-winning writer and director whose collection of work is about as eclectic as it gets. His credits include The Terminal, Anvil, The Story of Anvil, and his latest film, Hitchcock. From the Hollywood Tower, this is Sacha Gervasi.
Was it intimidating to direct Anthony Hopkins and Helen Mirren working together for the first time? If I told you it wasn't, I would be lying my arse off. Of course it was intimidating. I was scared. I think it was the second day I sort of plucked up the courage to make a suggestion to Helen Mirren to do something. And she did it, and it was actually better. And then she turned to Tony and said, "Oh, darling, I think he's rather good." This is Sacha Gervasi. I'm the director of Hitchcock. And do you know what he really used to say? It's just Hitch, hold the cock. That's a quote.
You're the most famous director in the history of the medium, but you're 60 years old. Shouldn't you just quit while you're ahead?
He's going out of his mind looking for his next project.
I need something fresh, something different.
It was the knife that, a moment later, cut off her scream and her head.
It's about the making of Psycho. And those even vaguely familiar with Hitchcock know the crazy stories with the actresses. They know the obsessive genius, they know the neurosis, they know he might be a voyeur. But the untold story was the story of his greatest collaborator, who actually happens to be his wife.
Just think of the shock value. Killing off your leading lady halfway through.
Actually, I think it's a huge mistake. You shouldn't wait till halfway through. Kill her off after 30 minutes.
When you have an artist like that who's so iconic, so famous, you know, there are so many people sort of coming up to you and flattering you. I know it must have given him some confidence to know that he had someone in his corner who always told him the truth, and that if there were too many yes men around, she was the one to say no. And more importantly, she was incredibly skilled, both as a screenwriter and an editor.
Oh, you imp, you've got nudity in there.
Well, her breasts were rather large. It was a challenge not to show them.
I was a journalist, which I enjoyed for what it was. I mean, I was a drummer. You know, honestly, I was okay. But, you know, I really felt drawn towards stories. I was always fascinated with, like, extreme characters. And so I wanted to tell those stories. And so finally, I, you know, made this documentary, Anvil. Anvil was the story of these guys I grew up with and went on the road with. And the story of the movie is it's about two 14-year-old kids from Toronto who were headbangers, who had a dream to rock together forever. And the movie joins them in their 50s. They're still pursuing this dream. I mean, there's something ridiculous and tragic about it, and ultimately something incredibly inspiring.
Time doesn't move backwards, it moves forwards. Your belly gets bigger, your face starts to sag, your hair falls out. You run out of time. You gotta do it now.
And that movie led to Hitchcock because, as it turns out, the producers of Hitchcock were fans of Anvil. And so I met them and they said, "Why don't you direct the movie?" And then it was all about Tony Hopkins approving me because, you know, I'm a first-time director. And I met with Tony Hopkins in Beverly Hills. And the first thing he said to me was, "I've seen Anvil 3 times. You know, him and his wife love it." I got him on the phone with lips of Anvil. That was the best thing. He said, "Yeah, man, I want to speak to them." And it was weird. It was like this meta-cultural moment. I had like Lips, the godfather of speed metal, and Hannibal Lecter like going at it on the phone and like exchanging numbers, and they became friends. It's very weird to me.
More anger! More!
I think to this day, Psycho remains the most successful independent film of all time. We tried to make a film, hopefully that's entertaining, hopefully that's warm and funny.
By the way, try the finger sandwiches. They're real fingers.
I think he would have wanted the film about him to have been, you know, mischievous and tongue-in-cheek and fun, absolutely, because, you know, he loved movies that people went to see. That's what he loved.
That was Sacha Gervasi. Hitchcock is in theaters now. Coming up, we're at the El Rey. The music tonight's great. It's from The Heavy. We'll be right back.